Can an open relationship save a relationship? It might, considering a few of the things I'm going to point out in this video. And the reason why it has the ability, potential, and it's just potential, to save a relationship is because it gets rid of all the baggage that accumulates in a relationship as a result of the death knell of every loving relationship, which is being and feeling taken for granted. You see, what occurs naturally in a relationship as an inevitable result is when you grant yourself to somebody and they grant themselves to you exclusively, meaning, in other words, I will be yours and only yours, baby, for the rest of our lives. And they grant themselves to you, I will be yours and only yours for the rest of my life. The inevitable result of your granting yourselves to each other is you both feel and are taken for granted. Mark my words. If you don't believe me, try granting yourself to somebody. Of course, people who are in long-term monogamous relationships already appreciate this very fact. So it strips away all of the baggage. Now, every relationship goes through the 3 I's in a relationship. The 3 I's are, number 1, infatuation. Infatuation is a chemically bolstered state that your brain drugs you so you see nothing wrong with the person. Everything they do is cute and endearing and adorable. And you see nothing wrong with them. And this lasts for a couple of weeks, couple of months, all the way up to about, on average, 18 months. And you're infatuated with the person. Mostly for evolutionary procreation purposes. The next I that occurs in every relationship is intensity. Intensity is, conventional terms, romantic chemistry. The romantic chemistry that occurs in every relationship where in the beginning you are incredibly intense and you have sex perhaps 2 times a day and 10 times a week, and you can't stop grabbing at each other. The intensity is propped up, and if you imagine it as radio levels where infatuation is high and intensity is high, and then the third I is the intimacy. Intimacy in this context is how much you know that person intimately. So in every relationship, in the beginning, infatuation is high, intensity is high, and intimacy is low. You know them the very least. And when infatuation is high, the infatuation buoys up intensity. It keeps intensity high. And also, the less access you have with a person, for example, if you have a long distance relationship, it keeps the intensity high because it keeps the intensity low. And when the infatuation goes away, nothing holds up the intensity. And intimacy rises very, very quickly. You get to know the person for who they really are. And then intimacy begins to lower. And so just like the levels that you see on our old style radio, as the intensity lowers, infatuation lowers, intimacy rises until you know them 100% completely. And also intensity is really, really low. You no longer have sex with them twice a day, once a day. Now it's once a week. Now it's once a month. Now it's once every couple of months. Now life gets in the way. And this occurs in every relationship, at least every relationship which is traditional, which you both are feeling and being taken for granted, and also in a monogamous relationship, because we humans did not evolve to be monogamous. So let me give you a worse, better, best scenario. The worst thing you can do is make a commitment in the infatuation stage, where the infatuation ensures, drugs your brain. You're literally under the influence of drugs. And your infatuation prevents you from making the correct decision, but you make a commitment of being exclusive with this person in the infatuation stage. And after a couple of months or 18 months, you look around you, and just like you're being drugged, you're no longer under the influence of drugs. You look around you and you say, "Oh my God, what have I done?" You hear a lot about these people that fly off to Vegas and get married, and it's not a very wise decision. The better scenario is when you no longer have the infatuation and your intimacy is pretty high, intensity is kind of low, but you make a decision, you have a better sense of yourself, you're no longer under the influence of drugs, and you make a commitment and say, "I'm going to be with you for the rest of my life." That's a better scenario. The best scenario is if you make a commitment with a person with foundations. You're out of the infatuation, you appreciate them appropriately. Appreciation is not giving thanks. Appreciation is appreciating the whole worth of the person, knowing the whole value. And so you make a decision and you communicate with them. This is going to be the foundation of our relationship. What are these foundations, you're probably asking? Let me share them with you. Number one foundation is love. Love is your wanting for their happiness, intrinsic to your own happiness. And anything they do that would benefit them for their self-actualization, for their self-growth, for their self-success, for their self-happiness, you want it for them. And if you prevent those things, it's literally a demonstration of your lack of love for them. The second foundation would be merit. Merit meaning you both are in the relationship because you want to be, you deserve to be, and you feel worthiful and worthwhile. You're worthy of the relationship. And the only reason you're in the relationship in the first place is because you want to be and you deserve to be. As opposed to you're being obligated to be in the relationship. You're being in the relationship because you have to be there, which is what occurs in a committed, exclusive, monogamous relationship. The third foundation would be you're being with your best friend. You're in the relationship because they're your best option every single time. They're your best friend by definition, your best option. Just like your best friend, you have many friends, but you have one best one. By definition, best is one. Some people say, "Well, I have many best friends." Well, you have a group of bests, but by definition, you only have one best. And so any relationship, like I like to say, that where you're in a relationship which is not with your best friend and you communicate with them not like you're with your best friend, is a wrong relationship. You should be able to communicate with them like they're your best friend and communicate 100% openly, candidly. Share with them everything, even your sexual affairs, even your sexual desires. See, what occurs in most relationships is they don't communicate with them. They make a distinction between friend and lover, and they're not the same thing. The fourth, which goes into the fourth foundation, which is open communication. If you can't communicate openly with your partner, then what is it all for? It's not really founded on desire, love, adoration, respect, more for insidious, sinister, goal-minded, which is not bad, as long as you make the arrangement in the first place, as long as it's communicated with your beloved that you're in the relationship not because of those things, but because of a certain goal. Maybe it's raising a family, maybe it's for wealth, maybe it's for land, maybe it's for profit, maybe it's for politics or business. The fifth foundation is individuality. I like to say that we don't have to communicate on every channel there is. No one can be everything for anyone. And so individuality is incredibly important. My sweetie is an individual. She is her own person, and I want her to live the biggest life she can. And if she were to pursue, or if she were to have a passion for, or want to partake in activities which I'm not into, I tell her, go ahead, baby. Go pursue those things, and maybe even communicate and participate with people who are into those things because I'm not into them. Go ahead and let me know how it was for you. You must allow them to live the biggest life they can. And then we go back to the question, can an open relationship save a relationship? I believe it can, considering the foundations I just talked about. Allowing them to live the biggest life they can and showing them that you want for their happiness, which is what love is. What do you think? Share in the comments below, click the like button, click the thumbs up button, and share in the comments below, what do you think? Will an open relationship, does it have the ability to save a relationship? What do you think? Let me know. Let us know. And share this video with others. I appreciate that. And subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye-bye.